All right, welcome back to the shop. It's February. It's that time of the year where I start tying flies for the next fly fishing season, and I thought I would share a couple with you. So February is going to be all flies every week. So the first one we're going to tie is called the Double Bub. It's a fly that I invented. It catches a lot of fish, and we're going to dive right into it. I'm starting with a number 12 hook, and I'll have a description of all the materials I use in the description of the video so you can go get them and tie this yourself. First off, we're going to start with a little black thread here. And I leave a little bit of a gap by the eyelet. And we're going to utilize that space later. And so we're just going to tie this down. And this base here is going to be the foundation for everything. And I tie it to about the shank. And then we're going to take a little glue. We're going to take a little glue. It's like getting ketchup out of a bottle. And just coat that area nice and thoroughly. It's thorough, Jeffrey. Alright. Our first component is going to be moose body. We're going to pick out just a few strands. This is going to be the tail of the double bub. And the double bub mimics like some kind of bug sitting on the water. I love fishing dry flies. So this is a nice fly if you fish Adams patterns or hippie stompers, stuff like that. Chubby Chernobyls, Amy's ants. I could drop a bunch of other names, but the only name we're worried about today is the double bub. We're gonna lash this down with a couple of ties and then really loosely tie it about halfway up the thread that we just laid down, and clip the excess and then loosely tie to the front, and we're going to build the wing of the bug. And for the wing we're going to use white deer belly. I do that. It's like Bob Ross when he used to clean his paintbrush. It's like cleaning all those little hairs out. And then we're going to stack this. Oops. When I pull it out of the stacker, I want it in my right hand. Always think about that when you're tying flies. Then you won't be like trying to move stuff around. And then I also like grab the bottom here, and we're gonna knock out a couple of those short hairs. That way we got the same length to work with. And I like to tie a big wing because my eyeballs aren't good at seeing stuff. So we're gonna tie a couple lashes there, and then more loose lashes back down to that middle spot. That's going to be, and then a couple to tie off. That middle spot's going to be a reference point for the whole fly. And then we're going to lash this down and then loosely tie this up. I kind of do like a fishnet pattern just to kind of keep the thread at a minimal. And then you grab all the hair, and we're going to do like a parachute tie here, where we're going up, around, down, up, around, down, up, around, down. And do that a few times. And then forward, and then we're going to tie it tight in tight wraps all the way down to the tail. And then we're going to throw a little glue on there. Glue can help keep water out of a fly if you want it to float, and also makes them sturdy. The reason I started tying flies is because I got tired of buying expensive flies and they like exploding on you. So now we're going to tie the body, which is just a piece of foam that you can get at Michael's or the fly shop, whatever. It's like 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter. Cut a little triangle off of it so you have like less material to tie down. Do a couple lashes around it. Make sure it's in a good spot. And then clip the excess. And then lash that down, that foam down good. And go back up to that middle part. Now we're going to tie a piece of purple embroidery thread. You get this at Michael's or Joann Fabric, anywhere they sell embroidery thread, and just look for some big fat purple thread. And then tie that down, back down to the tail again, and another little dab of glue right on that purple. Now we're going to add some dubbing to it. Throw a little wax on that, and then I like to mix my dubbins. I think that's nature, like colors are blended together. So I'm going to grab some tan and then just a little bit of this UV just to kind of mix into the tan. And then we're going to mix it together like this. We're just kind of like kneading it and pulling it together to where it gets all mixed up. And then we're going to spin it on the line. You gotta make a funny face when you do this. And then now we're going to make the first bub of the double bub. So wrap this up. And guess where we're wrapping it? That's right, that halfway point. So we go to that halfway point, and then we're going to take this thread. And I like this thread because you can spin it and make it tighter. So you can sort of make it whatever gauge thickness you want. And we're going to do 3 wraps. That's 1, 2, 3 over the top. And then I'm going to lash that down. Alright, we got that lashed down. Now we're going to bring the foam over, and this is going to be the first bub right here. So right at that halfway point, do 1 lash and 2 lashes, and then pull the foam back, and that helps cinch it down. And then we're going to get the thread out of the way, foam out of the way, and we're going back to the dubbing. And we're going to mix it together. Get a little wax, put it on there. Boop. And we're coming to the home stretch of this fly. There's only one more component after we get these lashed down. So now we're going to bring this dubbin, wrap it around up to the wing like that, and then bring the purple again. 1, 2, 3. On the third one we're going to tie it off. 1, 2 to lash it down there, and then 1 more to lock it in there. And then we're going to bring the foam down, and this is going to be our second bub. So we got 1, pull the foam back, 2. And then we're going to cut the foam as tight as we can. And just cinch that down real good. Alright, now comes the last component. This is going to be some hackle. I love the Whiting Farms hundreds. They're these long hackle strips that are really easy to work with. They're real consistent and they're pretty affordable too. So we're going to tie that down on the back, 1, 2, and then we're going to pull the wing forward, and this is where we're utilizing that space that we kept before. So we'll clip this end of this hackle off here, and then we're going to bring that thread back on the other side of the wing, and now we're going to wrap our hackle. And we're going to do 1, 2, a third one in front, and then wrap the 4th one and give it a wiggle, and that will keep you from laying down the hackle. Your hackle will still stick out. And then we're going to clip the hackle here. Now we're going back to that front area, and we're just going to lay a big fat taper back to the eyelet. And this little space keeps the fly out of your line, and it makes it tying it easy. And then we're just going to tie it off. And I do a non-whip finish. I learned this from a guy named Bob Jacklin on his YouTube channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. No tool. And then we're just going to cut the hackle at the bottom there. Clean up any strays that we don't like. And that's essentially the double bub. Just going to put a dab of glue on the end to seal those threads at the end there. And that's the double bub right there. It's a nice light fly that you can throw with a 5 weight or a 9 weight. They're nice and big so you can see them on the water, and they draw up big fish. I've caught big cutthroats, caught grayling, rainbow trout. I even caught a bluegill on one of these. It works at a bunch of different elevations on all kinds of different types of water, moving water, still water. It's a great fly. I'm really proud of this fly. Give it a shot tying it. It's a fun fly to throw. If you tie it the way I do, it'll be real durable. Like I said, there's a description at the bottom with all the materials that I use. And I don't know, tie some flies. There's nothing more satisfying than catching a fish on a fly that you've tied, and it just adds to the fishing experience. So get out there, tie some flies. This is going to be fly tying February. So next week we'll have a fly tying video as well. And just going to show you guys some of my flies and some maybe popular flies. So thanks for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Maybe we'll see you on the water. Have a good day.